got 2 new trick tutorials.
Do you like a cornetto?
Right.
With broken...
Ryan, please continue whilst I eat this cornetto.
So yeah, it has been a little while since we did our last trick tutorial, but we are back today teaching you guys how to do a cable wakeboard Raley. Now, obviously it is a bit of a scary trick at first, and this may look like some of your attempts. But we're here today to make sure that that is not the case anymore. So, Liam, how do we do a Raley on a wakeboard?
The cable wakeboard Raley, a fundamental in wakeboarding, unless you want to be a rail rider, in which case you really don't need to watch this tutorial. But anyway, to start off with the cable Raley.
Step 1 of the cable wakeboard Raley. Liam, take it away. You're the guy in the example, so you can
So, step 1 of the cable wakeboard Raley. You're going to want to start on the inside of the running wire. You don't need to be massively to the inside, but at least just a little bit on your toe side edge as you are about to approach where you're going to throw this Raley.
Yeah, so the best place usually is between the last tower, which is the motor tower, and the corner before that. That's not always the case, but it does depend on which kind of cable you're riding. So most cables, it is best to throw it into the motor tower.
So when you start the edge for your Raley, you're going to want to have quite a progressive cut. So don't start on your heel side edge too hard. You're going to work your way up until just before you release for that Raley, you're on your hardest edge. So you can start off quite mellow with this edge, and you're probably going to want to cut for about 3 to 4 seconds.
Yeah, about that, yeah.
And yeah, so as you're cutting, you start quite mellow, and as you progress to about that sort of 3-second mark, that is where you want to be on your hardest edge, with your heels dug right into the water, shoulders back and arms locked in.
Yeah, a common problem which most people have is they just try and drop straight back into their hardest hillside edge, which often results in them pinging up into a nasty front edge. So you do really want to make sure that you're building it up nice and slow, and then once you're at your full tension, that's when you release. As Liam said, you want to make sure that your arms are completely locked in at your hips. Some people do Raleys with their arms straight, but our personal preference is to keep your arms locked in at your hips. It's just way easier to build up the tension, which pings you up into the air.
So as you reach that final point just before you release, you want to have your hips up, right up to that handle, and not having your bum dropping down at all. This is going to keep the tension going all the way through your body and allow you to release your board out the water just how you need to.
Yeah, a lot of people, when they give at the waist as they go to throw the Raley, the energy going from their board up to their head is cut off at their hips, which means that you're not going to achieve maximum height on the Raley. Next step is the release. So lots of people call it a dig, I know some people call it a scoop, whatever you want to call it. Basically, this is the one part which, would you agree, it takes a little while to figure out?
Yeah, this is definitely the fundamental part of learning a Raley, and once you've got this little part of the Raley unlocked, that is when you're really going to speed up your progress and start getting them every time.
As you're at your hardest point on your edge, what you want to do is with your front foot, almost dig it into the water and scoop it out behind you. Make sure you keep your chest up as you release, and that is what's going to send you up in the air. Like I say, it probably will take a few tries before you actually understand and feel that proper release. A lot of people just flatten off and ollie, but you really have to make sure that you're doing everything with that front foot, and that's what's going to send you up. Yeah, so the next step, once you're up in the air and you have released, you're going to want to make sure that you keep your head up nice and high. You're looking up the line, and that's going to stop you from twisting. Sometimes a lot of people stick their arms up like this and they end up looking around, which is what's going to make you turn, which you don't want to do just yet.
Once you're up in the air and you can tell that you've got enough time to pull it in, the moment you release and you feel yourself fully laid out, don't hang around, just pull your arms back into your hips, and if you're right foot forward, pull them down to that right foot hip, or left foot forward, pull it into that left foot hip. You want to get yourself back down on your board as quick as possible, as if you stay laid out, you're going to get wrecked. Like, it's a fun moment being laid out in the Raley position, but I would not suggest staying there for too long. So to finalise, I think I'd say our 3 top tips are: don't overthink the Raley. Tip number 2, if you don't think you're high enough, don't risk it. Just let go of that handle or roll onto your back. It's going to save you a lot of pain in the long run.
And tip number 3 is make sure that you have the correct edge. If you're skimming along the water and your back edge isn't locked in, then don't go for this trick because it's not going to end well.
Catch you guys in the next video.